Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed and we're back. We're going to do some fun galaxy and stamping. And I have this really cool little book that I got, and it's an index card that's on a spiral. It's a way to kind of do your art, but in the mini version. So if I want to try a technique, which I've never done galaxy stuff, and I'm kind of playing with the idea of masking, this is a great way of kind of testing out my skills and seeing where I'm at. And so that's where it's like the index card a day kind of thing. So instead of ATCs, it's just a different spin on the same concept. So what I'm going to do is I have a little post-it note here, and it's got a sticky back to it. And I'm going to stamp the images on here that I want to have as my mask. And so since we're dealing with Galaxy, I thought I would pull out some stamps. This is a Lucky Star stamp set from Brutus Monroe. And I'm going to do 3 stamps, and I actually cannot fit all of these, so I'm going to save this one for later. I only want to stamp in the area where we are actually going to have sticky. So I'm going to do 1 on this, and then I'm going to do the other 2 on here and pull this guy off. And you can really stamp this in any color you want. Black's right here for me, so I'm going simple. So here we go. Put this here. Ta-da! And I was playing around with the colors earlier, so that's why some of this stuff is out. I gotta clean up some of this crap eventually. So at this point, what you're gonna do is you are going to fussy cut this out. Okay, so I did my best to put this, and I'm gonna hang this guy right. Let's put this one right here. And really try and get it to stick down. All right, now I'm gonna continue to cut these guys out. So what I'm going to do now to give this a very black background, I'm going to very carefully paint over with just some black gesso. You could use black paints, but just with some black gesso, and just lightly give this a black background. My gesso is starting to dry out, so I'm going to do my best to really white this out, or black this out, I should say. Being very careful as I'm going around my planets that I'm not getting under the planet. I'm staying true to where the edges of the planet are. My gesso is getting kind of yuck, so I'm adding a little bit of water in here to kind of thin it out. It's good. As you empty a jar, you fill it with air. And air and any kind of various mediums do not get along. It hardens it up and it makes it kind of yuck. So this is a solution, is to kind of wet it down a little bit, but in the very end, you really don't want to get large jars. You want to get small jars for this very purpose, unless you go through a ton fast. And I'm just getting up as close to the edge as I possibly can and just blacking this out. Okay, so I'm going to go clean my brush off and wipe off my thing, and then we'll start with the next part. I also love this because it has these little plastic separator pages that, as you can tell, I already did something here once before. I can pop this in, and it kind of helps separate my pages until I feel like they're 100% dry, or, you know, I also kind of marks where I am in the book. And I can also work with either the line side or the blank side, which is kind of fun too. Okay. So now what I'm going to work with is I have a violet paint, and there's already a little bit in here. And I'm going to tear off, because I don't have a really good sponge for this. So I'm just going to tear off a little piece of paper towel, and I'm going to work in 3 sections. I'm going to work down here. Oh, I should have dabbed that. I always forget to do that. At least that part's dark, so it's not a big deal. So here's another beautiful thing. I need some scratch paper. I can just rip it out of the book. There's so many pages in here. And this thing, like I said, I got from the dollar store. It was $1. So I'm going to dab this to kind of, here we go. And I'm going to work down here. And then I'm going to work over here. And we're going to do a few layers of them. And then I'm going to work over here. I'm just adding depth of dimension here. Okay, now I'm going to go in with white. So I'm going to add some white. Same thing. Grab a, oops, as I dumped that over. Grab a paper towel. A little bit bigger of a corner of a paper towel. You're just looking for messy, okay? Grab some paint on here. Dab it so you don't just get solid. You want it looking like it's doing something. Section there. Section here. Leave some black space. You need some black space here. You want some dark spots. You want some light spots. Make it look like this is like a galaxy going on over here. And it looks like kind of like a big blob. That's kind of where you're going, but not. Need to grab some more white again. The purple's starting to shine through, and it's going to shine through even more. So I'm going to add a little bit more purple here in a second. And then I'm also going to add some of that light blue, just doing that same thing, keeping in my same kind of 3 sections. I don't want to overdo. I want to have some black space because there's not just full galaxy. You want to make it look like you're looking at a big span. All right, I already had a little bit of blue on this one because I was testing the color earlier to see if I liked it. This is too watered down. I added water to it thinking maybe it would do something, but okay, a little bit. And this one, I am not going to overdo. I am very lightly, just a very, very, very light. That's too light. And just a little hint, maybe off to the side here. Just a little bit of something coming off. A little more. I added way too much. Just a little hint. And then I got to add some more of the purple back in here too. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Now go back in with my darker color again. Really kind of emphasize. Pick up some of that white. Cover that up. This is real, you know, specific here. Oops, dab. Come in. Give it that, some of that. So it looks like a big giant mess at this point, right? So it looks like you just got 3 blobs of just a mess. But those are your galaxies are behind. Now you have to add the stars to kind of finish the whole thing out. So you're going to go completely with your white. Add your water to dilute it down because you're going to do that flicking method. If I can get my water to come out. I've tilted it so much that the sprayer nozzle doesn't have any more water in it. I'm going to go ahead and use the same brush. Make sure it is clean. So I'm going to take my paper towel. I washed it off, but now it's clean. So I'm going to come in here with my white. See if I like, see, and you're going to splatter. Hitting the spots that are definitely more the black because that's where like the stars are hitting. And this is why I like this piece right here. It's kind of help covering it up. You don't want your stars to be too far away. You know, hit in there. And there we go. We have our little galaxy. All right, so now for the big reveal. We're going to start pulling these up. So I am going to... I just have, why I have a knife sitting next to my desk, I was working with styrofoam and I had to cut something. Otherwise, I normally wouldn't have, and I don't want to mess with my scissors. So I'm going to very lightly pull the edge and hopefully they came nice and clean. And look at that. See how it's just like this little spot that's there now? Same thing here. That one's kind of wonky because it was supposed to be wonky. Now, this is the one I'm curious about. Am I going to have that separation where the planet... Oh, yeah. Look at that. See? It was a little bit off there, and there's a little bit of a spot right there. But that's kind of cool. See how the planet's just kind of sitting in there? I love that. So I'm going to let this... It's not going to take too long to dry, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and then I'm going to let this clean up. Now, in the meantime, look how cool these little planets are, just all by themselves. These little circles that I've made, and you can definitely tell that's a planet. Look how cool these little galaxies are. Now I'm tempted to do something with these on one of the other pages and leave it white. I did practice, I can't lie, I did practice this technique, and this was the first rendition, and I think these are pretty cool too. So there's nothing wrong with taking, now that I have these pieces, I didn't like this one, it was just too big. And I think I might do something with those. I don't know what yet, but I might play with that on another page. All right, so this is now dried up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my planets, the same stamps. I'm going to come in. And because this guy's so close to the edge, I really have to get it up here. Now, I need to orientate this, so I'm going to have to rotate it. What I might do is put them in the corner, and then I might have an easier time. And try and get my stamp to line up with how it looks on here. So I want to get the little bumpies to line up. And I need to determine the orientation of how I put the stamp down. There's a little bumpy there. Ah, I think this is how I had it. So now I'm going to come in and stamp. And so it looks like I kind of laid it over top, but it's not. It's just stamped in that empty space. And now I can go in and either leave it like this or I can kind of paint it. I'm debating. I'll see what that looks like. So I'm going to do the same thing. This one's easy because it's just a circle. So I'm going to come in now and I'm just going to stamp over top of this. I think this is supposed to look like, you know, like our Earth, but I don't know. I'm going to go with that. So there it is. And now I'm going to go in with the Saturn-y looking one. And hopefully I got this orientated the right way. And do the same thing. That's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I love the fact that I actually can see the galaxy behind the Saturn. It's not perfect, but it's not bad, which I kind of think is fun. Okay, so I think I'm going to paint these. So I'm just going to take the chalk shimmer spray, and if you hear it? It's a little ball bearing that's inside of there. So we sell these little ball bearings at Brutus Monroe that you can stick into any mist that you possibly have that you may want to help shake up some of the shimmer and stuff that's in the bottom, and it just helps it from clogging, and it's kind of cool. So I'm going to take this yellowish color and I'm going to do this tiny planet over here, and because I have not dipped too much into the bottom and picked up, it's just going to act like a watercolor, which I think is kind of fun. So it's just giving a little bit of a color to the planet up in the corner here. And I'm not worried about trying to get definition of planets. I'm doing all the planets just kind of as a single color. I'm going to clean this guy off. I think I'm going to do the earthy looking planets. I was debating if I wanted to try and make it look like it was two-toned. And, you know, like it's got like the earth and the color. And nah, forget it. We're just going to make it all this kind of pretty green color. All right, so I'm going to come in here. You could easily leave this as white, but I love the idea that it's just got a little bit of pop of color. Planets are doing something back here. So we got a little green planet hanging out over here, and then obviously, what color planet do we have hanging out over there? Red. Cleaning off my brush again. Get my spray. This is my fast way. If I'm not doing massive painting and it's just a very light coat, you know, instead of having a cup of water, I can just spray it on a paper towel. And I don't have to keep running to the sink, or I have this cup of water that I accidentally drink, or a lot of people have their mug of water. So just my quickie. Okay, this guy I got to get up close because I got to get those rings. And this is one where I was debating, do I want to do the rings? So let me try just the planet first. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to try doing the ring in that green color and bring in that green a little bit. Now, I will give you a word of advice. I am not, this to me is actually looking a whole lot better than the first time I tried to do it. It looked like a big hot mess. And the reason why my galaxy looked like a big hot mess is I didn't leave a separation of black. If you try to make the whole thing look like this, it looks like a hot mess. So give yourself, and rule of three, give yourself 3 galaxies in whatever size. Even if you're doing a space this big, galaxy here, galaxy here, galaxy here, make it look like it's kind of like a triangle. You're going to have a whole lot more success than if you try and make the whole thing. If you get a really big space, maybe go with 5, but don't make it just have 1. It's going to look really lopsided, or just 2. Something about that just does not look right to our eye. 3 is a much more pleasing number. And is my galaxy the best galaxy out there? Oh, heck no. But, you know, that's the point of this little book, is to play and to have fun. And do I 100% think that this is the best thing? Nah. But I got a chance to play, and I got to do some fun things. And I got to, you know, go to outer space for the day. So that's kind of fun. All right. So there is that. Kind of liking that planet with the two-tone color. Why not? Have some fun. Just a little bit of something different out there. Why not? So here it is, my little galaxy on an index card. Something kind of fun. I got a chance to play doing the galaxy, doing some masking, doing a little bit of watercolors. There's some fun techniques that I was playing with on here that actually worked out pretty darn good, I think. So thanks for stopping by. I'm going to see if I can tweak these. Maybe I'll come back to that. Do you want to see the first version? Ew. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys again soon, and please subscribe. Bye-bye.